time. Got my cookbook from Pauline, from he was still in cookbook. My husband was on the street. And I always was growing, I always kept doing it, whether I showed or was in anything. I would workshops sometimes in California. But I didn't have big exhibitions. I was in competitions and in shows and things like that. But never like I had that deal with that here.
Hi, Michelle. Did you prime your pastel paper, or is it just canvas paper? What's your paper that big?
The things out there, they're on
Like pastel. Are they on the ground?
They're on really heavy network. And some of it has a texture and some doesn't. So it depends on what you want. Some is colored. For a long time I always did it on white. And then I started working on grays, and now I work on black a lot. You notice how dark some of the new things are? Because I like the idea that white is intimidating to me, and so I always tone it down. So I always put something over it before I begin the work, because I need to see what the lights are like and what the darks are like in relationship to their values.
What did you text through them with?
Chicken?
What did you text through them with?
What did you text through them with?
Oh,
What did you?
no. It's me.
What is the texture now?
No, it's, the board is fairly smooth. And I can get a textured board if I want, but I don't. I usually use a fairly smooth one. And I just build with hard pastels to begin with, and smooth it all down, and then start working with softer scenarios and some of those Rembrandts and some of the ones that are richer and more buttery. And then I give it a little bit shot of fix it at the end to fold that and drop it on the floor. And then so the other day, somebody I read where I should try using rubbing alcohol. Okay? So one of the things that I was working on, I did in Castle, and then I put more rubbing alcohol. They'll change that whole thing into a wash, kind of an opalescent surface. It's just really quite wonderful. And now then I put the new crystal on top of that. So I'm hooked up with that. I got to experiment with that some more.
Which piece do you feel like you learned the most from? Which piece?
Did I learn the most from? I really can't. I think the ones that are sort of there, I didn't learn from. The ones that are more loose and experimental, like the last big ones, that great big one that you look down the path, is on that far wall, that one, and the forest one. And the ones that seem to be a little bit more, but see, I have trouble on the shoulder now, so I can't work high on days, so I rest or something on, and I'm not sure I'm going to be able to keep doing them, because it's too hard for me to keep my arm up there. But they, see, I can't get tight. Isn't that okay? I mean, that's fun. And so I can't do those others. But now I do something else that's more fun, and more colorful, and more exciting for me. And so, I mean, it's your autobiography. That's life. Anyway, pastel it's kind of a pop-out for me in some ways, because I don't have to work brushes and clean palettes and do all that. I should go back to art sometimes, but right now, to me, this is the way to work. It's easier, cleaner. I can control it a little bit better.
The painter, Agnes Martin, refers to working in the studio as wrestling with a dragon, and she states it's a constant defeat every day in the studio. There are small moments that keep her going. What is it that keeps you practicing? And
I think it's some absolutely overwhelming appreciation for nature and the Northwest, and for the love of repeating color and shape and line. I can't imagine not doing it. You know? I often say, then you ever have to keep going about this and that's on, yeah, paper. Yeah.
When you begin working on a piece, how do you prepare yourself to encounter that work? And how do you enter into that work
Well, the encounter doesn't come with work, first of all. The encounter comes with something that sets me off. Some scene, some color, some place, some feeling. And then I start to have drawings, and I make drawings and plans that have to do more with the value relationships and composition. But I never get away from that. I don't work on half photographs of the places I work with. I have written paintings don't look like the photographs. Photographs flatten things out, I guess. And I like that depth, like that feeling that you move back in space. I like trying to record something mysterious, something rather ethereal, maybe. God's gift to us is everywhere. And I think that's what compels me. It's always a miracle, isn't it? Everything that you do may not be beautiful. That's a miracle.
One of my memories of you, Pauline, was sitting rather far back at church and drawing during the sermon. And you did a beautiful, wonderful series of work in the 60s from those drawings. Mostly oils at that time.
Yeah, and that was when Bill Taylor was here. Whenever he preached paintings for me, and I said, he said, light up Christ the cruciform shape. Wow, you know, how would I do that? Isn't that marvelous? And so then a huge painting in my background. So a lot of times, and I could step up to the service because I got ideas of things that I had to say and what he said. That was a very good time. In fact, there's a painting over in the chapel of the Head of Christ, and I always wanted to do the Head of Christ. And I never thought someone looked so, so sweet and so weak. And I wanted something to be stronger. And so one day I had yellow, ochre, and red, collision, crimson, and black and white on my palette. And so I just started making mark. I just made mark all over that thing. And lo and behold, pretty soon, there was I saw the head with the crown of thorns, and the total thing was really extra. So when I got them to go around the hall, I was excited about the whole thing. I hung it out the hall, the students would go by and abstract things that I don't understand. And they get about halfway down the hall, and they said, wait a minute. And then it would come into focus. Well, once you saw it, then you could never look at it in that direction. And for me, that was a lesson, because once we see Christ in our life, and we accept Christ in our life, then we never see our life the same. And we never need a life without it. And so that painting really is a significant thing in terms of a witness for me in terms of the Christian faith, because I felt like, once you see it, you can't go away from it. So those are those miracles that happen that always make fun.
Pauline, I was not an art major, and you made me feel welcome in the class that I had. That wasn't true. Both in the art department and the music department, there were folks who wanted to have conservatory-style relationships with their students. And I never felt out of place, I never felt unwelcome, and I'm still grateful.
Well, we know that all of the little bit of our knowledge, in one way or another, it's just finding it and following our dream and being willing to take some risks and saying, amen.
Who's your favorite artist and why?
I don't really have one. I do a lot. I have a lot of reading I do, and people who I have admired, and I think, crazy, but Van Gogh is not necessarily all of his work, it's his life. And if you've ever read anything about the letters that he's written, because he was a pastor, and there is a powerful witness of the struggle of the life, and who of the right. And so I'm impressed with that. But in terms of, not even with anybody's work necessarily, is like their commitment and their willingness to risk everything to do with something is their fault. Okay? Thank you. Wonderful.